In the previous video, that is a 40-second video, where we covered 9 shlokas, 15 to 23rd shlokas of chapter 6, Lord Krishna emphasizes that regulation in food, sleep, recreation, and activities is a key to success in yoga. In this deep state of meditation, a yogi with a pure mind can see the Atma, that is the self. In that state, he is completely satisfied and he doesn't consider any other gain as greater than this bliss. No sorrow shakes him in this state. Lord Krishna urges all of us to practice this yoga with a determined mind and experience that supreme bliss. So, we will cover the next 8 shlokas in this video, where Lord Krishna talks about the perfected yogi who, in their super consciousness, perceive the supreme God in all living entities. Sankalpa prabhavan kaman tyaktva sarvana sheshataha manasairvendriya gramam viniyamya samantataha shanai shanai uparame buddhya dhriti grihitaya atmasamstam manah kritva na kinchidapi chintayet. Sankalpa prabhavan sarvan kaman asheshatah tyaktva. So tyaktva means giving up, that is renounce. Sankalpa prabhavan sarvan kaman. So kaman is desire, sarvan kaman, all desires born out of sankalpa, they must be asheshatah tyaktva, they must be given up, they must be renounced. Asheshatah, absolutely. All desires for sense gratification must be given up completely. Manasa indriya gramam samantataha evam viniyamya. That is, viniyamya, niyamya is controlled, having controlled or restrained, disciplined. So, manasa, through the mind, indriya gramam, all the senses, all the group of senses must be completely controlled, must be completely restrained, must be completely disciplined by the mind, manasa. Shanaihi, shanaihi. Shanaihi, shanaihi, slowly and slowly, that is step by step, gradually. Uparamet, focusing the mind on the self. You can focus the mind on the self only by withdrawing the mind completely from all worldly matters. Dhriti grihitaya buddhya manaha atma samstam kritva. So Dhriti, Buddhya is spiritual intelligence. Through spiritual intelligence, Dhriti Grihitaya, and through Dhriti Grihitaya is through determination of resolve. So through spiritual intelligence and through determination of resolve, Manaha Atma Samstam Kritva. You must establish the mind on Atma, that is Paramatma, in the self. Kinchitapi na chintayet. So having established the mind on Paramatma, after that kinchitapi na chintayet, must not think of anything else. So in these 2 shlokas, that is shloka 24 and 25, Lord Krishna describes a method of practicing dhyana yoga. 2 steps are there. First step is give up desires completely, abandon all the desires. The second step is fixing the mind on Paramatma. Now desires, that is kama, they come to us as thoughts, flashes of feelings. Once we allow these thoughts to persist and we desire to pursue those desires, they become sankalpa. So one must renounce sankalpa prabhavan sarvan kaman. Kaman desires, sarvan kaman, all desires born out of sankalpa. Sankalpa is resolve, that is, you resolve to pursue the desires. So must give up all the desires, asheshataha, without anything remaining. No desire must remain. You must give up all desires completely. So having abandoned desires through the mind, one must restrain the mind from all sides. So first step, giving up desires, disciplining the mind. Second step, the mind should be established on Paramatma. So once this is done, the mind will become fixed in God alone and it will not think of anything else. But this will happen shanaihi, slowly, step by step only this will happen to us. So as spiritual aspirants, we should use our spiritual intelligence, that is buddhaya, and we should use our Dhriti Grihitaya, We should use our discrimination and we should convince ourselves about the impermanence of the material world and the importance of our relationship with Paramatma. यतो यतो निश्चरति मनश्चञ्चलमस्थिरं ततस्ततो नियम्यैतत् आत्मन्येव वशं नयेत्. एतत् अस्थिरं चञ्चलं मनः यतः यतः निश्चरति. So chanchalam is the fickle, astiram, unsteady. So etat astiram chanchalam manam, this unsteady and fickle mind, yataha nischarati, whenever and wherever this restless and fickle mind wanders, tataha niyamya atmani eva vasham nayet. So tataha, so whenever wherever this mind, fickle mind wanders, tataha, at that time, on all those occasions, niyamya, you have to discipline the mind, and atmani eva vasham nayet, you must draw it back from wherever it wanders, back from those worldly matters, and reclaim focus on the Supreme Paramatma, atmani eva, that is on the Supreme Atma. The word yataha, wherever and whenever, on those occasions when the fickle mind wanders, wherever, that is on whichever material object the mind turns to, corresponding to yataha, you have tataha. So the mind should be diverted back on all those occasions from those material objects. And then what must you do? Reclaim focus on the Atma, the Self, the Supreme. So this corrective action of guiding the fickle mind from material objects to the Atma or Self must be relentlessly done until the mind becomes steady and is convincingly persuaded that Paramatma alone is a superior source of happiness. Prashanta manasam hyenam yoginam sukhamuttamam upaiti shantarajasam brahmabhutam akalmasham. He, because yenam yoginam, this yogi, prashanta manasam akalmasham shanta rajasam. So prashanta manasam, this yogi with serene, calm mind. Akalmasham, kalmasham is dirt, evil. This yogi who is free of evil, who is devoid of sinful thoughts or responses, or a yogi whose mind is cleansed and is pure. So shanta rajasam, rajasam is passion. So this yogi whose mind is serene, this yogi who doesn't have evil thoughts, and shanta rajasam, who is free from passion. Brahma bhutam, yogi whose mind is merged into oneness with Brahman. Sukhamuttamam upaiti. So this yogi attains supreme bliss. So in the previous verse, Lord Krishna says the yogi must bring back the wandering mind and fix it on the Supreme, on the Paramatma. So once that is done, the mind becomes serene, quiet, free from passion and sins, and he merges into oneness with Brahman and attains the supreme bliss. Yunjannevam sadatmanam yogi vigata kalmashaha sukena brahma samsparsham atyantam sukhamashnute. Vigata kalmashaha yogi evam sada atmanam yunjan. So yogi vigata kalmashaha. So kalmasha is dirt, contamination. So yogi vigata kalmashaha, this yogi who is free from material contamination, evam sada atmanam yunjan. So likewise this yogi who is free from evil, who is free from material contamination, is atmanam yunjan. He is consistently experiencing the self, Atma. Brahma sansparsham atyanta sukhena ashnute. Sansparsha, sparsha is contact. So Brahma sansparsham, so contact with the Brahman. Atyanta sukhena ashnute. So this yogi who is free from material contamination, who consistently experiences the self, easily attains the highest bliss resulting from the contact with Brahman. So this verse also is in continuation of the previous shloka. Yogi who has perfected dyana yoga, that is the merging of the individual consciousness with the universal consciousness, who is vigata kalmashaha, who is free of sins. So Vigata Kalmashaha, because due to continuous meditation, he has no attachment towards the fruits of action. There is no ego in him that I am the doer. So because of that, all his sins evaporate. Lord Krishna uses the word Brahma Sansparsha. Because of continuous practice and perfection of Dhyana Yoga, he is in communion with the Brahman, and thereafter he easily attains the supreme bliss which is eternal. सर्वभूतस्तमात्मानं सर्वभूतानि चात्मनि ईक्षते योगयुक्तात्मा सर्वत्र समदर्शनः. Yogayuktatma sarvatra samadarshanaha. So this yogi, because it's in continuation of the previous shloka, this yogi that was talked about in the previous shloka, this yogi, Yogayuktatma, this yogi who has been practicing Dhyana Yoga, Yogayuktatma, who is harmonized in yoga, he is in oneness with the Brahman, so he is harmonized in yoga, sarvatra samadarshanaha. So this yogi sees the same everywhere, he has samadarshan. Atmanam sarva bhutastam. He sees the Atma, that is, he sees the Supreme Lord in all living beings. Bhuta is living entities. So he sees Atma, he sees the same divine Atma in all living beings. Cha sarva bhutani atmani ikshate. Ikshate is see. So he sees sarva bhutani, he sees all living creatures atmani in the realized self. So, after mastering Dhyana Yoga, the yogi becomes an advanced being who attains oneness with the divine. He is united with the Paramatma, with the Supreme. So, reaching that state, he becomes Sarvatra Samadarshanaha, means he realizes the divine Atma which abides in all beings. Therefore, he sees the same everywhere. Inequality arises only when one views the physical body alone. At a higher plane, the yogi sees the same divine Atma everywhere. The yogi who has reached this state sees the Supreme Lord in all beings. The Supreme Lord who abides in equal measure in all living entities is a Paramatma. So Lord Krishna is effectively saying in the sloka that the Atma in oneself is of the same quality as that abiding in others. So if one's own Atma is realized, the Paramatma, that is the Atma in all other beings, is perceived and realized. Yo mam pashyati sarvatra sarvam cha mai pashyati tasyaham na pranashyami sacha me na pranashyati. Yaha sarvatra mam pashyati. He who sees me, that is Lord Krishna is telling that he who sees me everywhere, sarvatra mam pashyati, he who sees me everywhere, sarvam cha mai pashyati, and sees everything in me, that is in Lord Krishna. Tasya aham na pranashyami, I am not lost to him. That is Lord Krishna is telling that that person who sees me everywhere and sees everything, every living being in me, he doesn't forget me. Therefore, I am not lost to him. Sahacha me na pranashyati. I also, he is not lost to me also, which means I too don't forget him. So a yogi who reaches the advanced state of yoga, meaning he has attained communion with the Paramatma, becomes very close to Lord Krishna, the Supreme Lord. This yogi, the devotee, never forgets the Lord. So the Lord is not lost to him. Lord Krishna himself never forgets him. So the yogi is not lost to Krishna. The yogi who realizes the nature of the Atma, who realizes that the Atma in essence is pure and divine, and also realizes that Lord Krishna is the essence of all Atma, and so all Atmas are in him, and he in turn resides in all the Atmas, all the Atmas of living beings, living entities. Such yogis who are self-realized are never disconnected from Lord Krishna. Lord Krishna's grace and blessings are always on them. Sarvabhutastitam yo mam bhajatyekatvam sarvata vartamanopi sayogi mai vartate. Yaha ekatvam astitah sarvabhuta stitam mam bhajati. Bhajati is worship. So yaha here is the yogi. Ekatvam astitah. The yogi established in ekatvam, in union with me. Sarva bhuta stitam mam bhajati. So sarva bhuta stitam. That yogi who worships me, who's there, who's the Paramatma residing in all living entities. So the yogi established in union with me worships me as, that is worships Lord Krishna as the Paramatma residing in all living entities. Saha yogi sarvada vartamanaha api mai vartate. Saha yogi, that yogi, sarvada vartamanaha api. He may be engaged in different activities, in all activities. Api mai vartate. In spite of being engaged in all activities, vartate is exist, reside. So he dwells in me, he resides in me, even though he is engaged in all kinds of activities. So in all these shlokas, Lord Krishna describes the higher state of one perfected in the science of yoga, that is the merging of the individual consciousness with the universal consciousness. Now these yogis, they are called Paramahansas. The word ekatvam astitah means the yogi established in singular unity. These yogis who are in the highest level of spiritual realization, they see only the Lord and do not perceive anything else. There is a story of Shukadev, who even when he was very young had no other perceptions but God, so much so that he did not notice young women bathing when he passed by. So these yogis in the final stage of yoga know the reality of the omnipresence of Lord Krishna. So when a yogi worships Lord Krishna as Paramatma, one who is omnipresent, residing in all living entities, is definitely at the highest level. Even though such a person may be engaged in various activities like eating, drinking, sleeping, teaching, he is mai vartate. He is always with me. He resides in me. So he resides with Lord Krishna at all times, in all situations. Even we find that even reading all these shlokas, it gives us a calming effect. We've covered 8 shlokas today, so let us summarize what we have covered in this video. Lord Krishna in the 24th and 25th shlokas prescribes a method of practicing dhyana yoga. By renouncing all desires, restraining the senses, the mind should be established on the self, that is the Atma. One should relentlessly bring back the wandering mind and reclaim focus on the Supreme Lord. When the yogi with a serene mind, subdued passion, merges into oneness with the Brahman, then supreme bliss arises. Such a yogi, through continuous practice, masters meditation and sees Lord Krishna in all beings, and further sees all living beings in the Lord. The yogi who sees Krishna everywhere and in every living being is never lost to the God. The yogi who worships Krishna as the all-pervading, omnipresent Paramatma who resides in all being is always with Lord Krishna at all times and in all situations.